Is he capable? Absolutely. I think Terrelle, because he loves to work and he's been blessed with great abilities, he can certainly become anything that he wants to become. He's going to need some good fortune. He's going to need to stay healthy. Going to need to stay on the task at hand, which is what we all need to do. But I think he's got great ability. I think Todd has enjoyed his time with Terrelle, because Terrell's one of those guys that one of the first things he wanted to do was, be with Todd and learn from Todd. And that's what he said, if you recall, during the course of the recruiting, is, hey, I want to come and learn from this guy and be around him. So I don't think that, from what I've seen and sensed, I think it helps Todd grow in his leadership role even more. Certainly, it has to be demonstrated in practice that that's the best thing for the team. But absolutely, especially in the early season, we've always tried to use multiple quarterbacks, just because in the course of the season you never know how health is going to go and so forth. But I think anytime you can maximize the talent that you have, and it's not unlike, do you use some other receivers at different times and so forth, absolutely it can happen. That's one of the tough things about that position. That's one of the tough things about being a kicker, is that, usually if you don't become the guy that emerges, that sometimes you have to think through, what's the future hold. And it's one of the things you don't like about that position, but it's real. Over the course of our history at Ohio State, we've had a number of guys, that have found themselves in that situation, as many schools have had. And remember when Jeff Hostetler went over to West Virginia, from Penn State, because, he wasn't emerging as the guy, and all of a sudden he becomes a Super Bowl champion quarterback later. So I'm one of those believers, and things usually work out, but I hate losing any of my guys. The advantage he has is he played 16 games 2 years in a row, and they did a lot of stuff. Coach Ray Ritz over there did a lot of different things. I mean, they did all kinds of spread and wing T versions, and they did a lot of different things. So he has a little bit of an advantage. He's played so many games, and so many good games, because there are so many playoff games, and done so many different things, that it's just a matter of, I don't know if we do anything that he hasn't done. But now he will need to learn, what do we call it? Because we probably call it something different. So I don't think there's going to be an unusual strain on him for that. In fact, he may have a little advantage. I think that will be a challenge, because Terrelle really is one of those guys that wants to do everything just right for the team. And he's one of those guys that he wants to please everybody. He wants to make sure that he's answering the question right, or throwing the ball the right place. And so I think until you're comfortable with, hey, sometimes I'm going to throw an incompletion, or sometimes, I'm going to say, I don't know. Once he gets comfortable with that, which will be fast, because he's going to not know, quite a bit. But I don't think you can disregard the fact that, all the attention he's gotten, he wants, to come through, and that's the kind of kid he is. Well, we feel as if Ohio and the contiguous states that touch us, that half of their state, whether it's Western PA or Northern Kentucky or Southern Michigan or whatever, the ones that touch us, we really can consider those as local areas, because they're not far, and their families can really take part in their experience and all that. So we've always put a lot of time and effort in Western PA. It's great football, and the guys we've had have been good, tough guys, and good students, good kids, and so there was really no more emphasis, but hopefully real good results. No, he really didn't. The thing he talked the most about was, well, I have a chance to learn from Todd, and he would offer the fact that he thinks that, hey, I think this is a good thing because, I'm going to get a chance to learn from someone else, ease my way into it. So, Terrell's the kind of guy that he would never ask for anything that he doesn't deserve. Now, he's the competitive kind of guy that he's going to try to deserve to play. Oh, absolutely. In fact, I've heard a lot of the older guys say that, not just him, but Brian Hartline said to me the other day, said, that group of guys that came, that's a good group. He said, those guys are willing to listen, willing to learn, working like crazy, not pretentious, and I've heard those kinds of things said specifically about Terrelle as well.